to the 2013 CUB NCAA Spread Pool Selection Show. I'm your host, Michael Swanson, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Matt Rose, today.
Michael, thank you, and looking forward to a great NCAA tournament. This has always been a tradition like none other, and let's get started.
Okay, well, first we're going to do a quick little shot just to get things going. So cheers, and let's have a great show.
Looking forward to it.
Wonderful.
Tasty.
And now we're going to cut over to the commissioner of the CUB Spread Pool, who's going to explain the rules and a few other things, Chris Ulrich.
Thanks, fellas. It's really quite simple. 64 teams, 64 players. It is a Vegas-style spread pool. Therefore, the actual outcome of the game does not necessarily matter. Your team must cover the spread in order to advance. And in fact, the higher seeded team does not have a benefit in this pool. Actually, the underdog or the lower seeded team does. In case of a push, meaning 6-point spread, the favored team wins just by 6. That is a push. That is going to go to the underdog. The underdog will advance to the next round. I will be updating the lines as close to real time as possible. You can see the website at the bottom of the screen if you want to check that out. Also, you can download a mobile app, Score Mobile. It is a great app for your phone or your computer to check the lines before and during the games. That's it. Winners advance. Payouts on every game. 64 players. Only one true champion. But there are lots of winners. So Godspeed to all of you, and I look forward to a great tournament. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. All right, we're going to jump into this. The pairings were actually picked earlier and witnessed by the consulting firm MRG Consulting and are sealed until right now, where you, the public, are the first to hear them. So let's get underway. We're going to start with the Midwest region. The number 1 overall seed, Louisville. Louisville will be represented by Kevin Melvin. He will face off against the winner of the playing game, NCAA Liberty, and that team will be represented by Matt Rose. Louisville won a share of the conference regular season title and won the Big East tournament. Rick Pitino, head coach, has moved on since having sex with a shady woman in a Louisville restaurant. And Liberty, they're coming off a 20-loss season, Matt, and you're going to actually be representing that team. What do you think about that?
Yes, I've been able to watch many Liberty's games this year, and I've noticed that they're on an upscale their last 6 to 7 games. Most of them were losses, but they did look good, and they're going to be strong going into the tournament.
Okay, well, glad to hear they're on an upscale. Okay, the next matchup. The number 8 seed, Colorado State, will be represented by Tony Zeman. And Zeman will be facing off against a Missouri team, the number 9 seed, represented by Michael Saps Swanson. Colorado State, coached by Larry Eustace. Larry Eustace has been in the media in the past for his known drinking antics with fraternity houses on campus.
From what I'm hearing now, he went sober recently, so there should be an interesting game if he's going to be on the sideline sober.
Okay.
Something I'm not going to be probably watching. I tend to watch his games when he's drunk. He was more entertaining that way, but it should be an exciting game regardless.
Yeah, we'll see if he's a better coach, sober or drunk. The next matchup, the number 5 seed, Oklahoma State, represented by Jeff Dula. He will be facing off against the number 12 seed of Oregon, and Oregon will be represented by Liz Phipps. Oregon coach Dana Altman, been a major disappointment since coming over from Creighton, Matt.
Well, he made the tournament. Isn't that something to say? I don't know why you would call it a disappointment.
The next matchup, the number 4 seed, St. Louis. St. Louis will be represented by another United Home Loans member, Chris Ulrich. Ulrich will be taking on the number 13 seed, New Mexico State. New Mexico State represented by Michael Saps Swanson. St. Louis, really,
Rick Majerus.
Rest in peace, Rick Majerus. That's pretty much all that can be said here. What's your thoughts? He had a great career.
Did the NCAA tournament just put them in because of the death of Rick? Or I'm not really sure.
There is a conspiracy theory that could potentially be it, but we'll never know. But they're in, and Majerus, they'll be looking down from above, I'm sure.
Are they wearing anything on the jersey to represent Rick?
That's something we'll have to talk to St. Louis. We'll make a phone call maybe in the break, and we'll see if we can get an answer for that.
Exciting stuff if they're wearing some kind of, maybe like a grease stain or something on them.
I hope so, yeah. He was well known for his eating. Okay, the next matchup, the number 6 seed, Memphis, represented by Michael Saps Swanson. He will be facing off against the winner of the Mid-Tennessee St. Mary's game, the 11 seed, that will be represented by Michael Luciano.
Is there any history between the two of you that we should know of before this matchup?
We've matched up in basketball a few times. He actually gets the better of me usually. So he's a pretty good athlete, relatively unknown.
He's got a nice looking body also.
The next matchup, the number 3 seed, Michigan State, the Spartans, represented by Kevin O'Rourke. He will be facing off against Valparaiso, the number 14 seed, represented by Adam Wilhelm. This is a great matchup, Matt. You got Michigan State, Tom Izzo. He doesn't lose in the first round, but Bryce Drew, big shot, first time coaching in the tournament.
But this is a spread pool, so you can actually win and lose at the same time.
Yes, that's correct. That's the name of the game. So really, you got to play the spread in this one. All right, our next matchup. We got the number 7 seed, Creighton. Creighton will be represented by Tony Bumps Zeman. He will be facing off against the number 10 seed, Cincinnati, represented by Mike Dula.
Actually, it's interesting that you bring up Tony's name. I went to the payouts, and looks like Tony still owes $100 for the entry fee, and it's been very interesting.
Well, hopefully he'll get that paid up before this tournament starts. I've known he's actually recently run into a little bad streak gambling, so that could be part of the reason.
Let me put my surprise face on really quick on that.
Yeah, but he's got Creighton. McDermott, great scorer. I think he's going to like the pick.
Yes, that's going to be a fun one.
All right, our next matchup. The number 2 seed, Duke, represented by Patrick Rose. Facing off against the number 15 seed, Albany. Albany will be represented by Tony Bumps Zeman. Zeman back in this one, Pat Rose. Pat Rose had an interesting weekend.
Oh, it was very interesting. Just like all of us had, but some were more interesting than others. What ended up happening to you late Saturday? I heard you took a cab home with someone.
Yeah, I took a cab home, had a nice night, tucked in early. All right, our next matchup. We're going to... Oh no, that's fine. That's it for the region. Sorry. Thanks again for joining us today for the 2013 CUB Spread Pool Selection Show. We're going to jump right into the West region now. The number 1 seed in the West, Gonzaga. They will be represented by Chris Ulrich. His opponent, number 16 seed Southern, represented by Lou Scanicio. Gonzaga, number 1 seed, do they deserve it? That's the question.
I gotta be honest with you, I never saw him play a lick of basketball all year. This is going to be an interesting little game between Southern and themselves. I'm looking forward to possibly not watching a minute of that game.
Okay, well, Gonzaga's an interesting team. We'll see how that goes. Next, number 8 seed, Pittsburgh, represented by Mike Dula. He will be facing off against the number 9 seed, Wichita State, represented by Ron Wojek. Pittsburgh coach Jamie Dixon, rumor interviewing other coaching jobs instead of preparing for the tournament. That's not really a way to win a game here.
Well, that usually goes on in NCAA nowadays with the advent of coaching changes and money being thrown around like candy canes.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike Dula not happy with that selection. Next, the number 5 seed, Wisconsin, represented by Chris Ulrich. Facing off against Ole Miss, represented by Bill Weldon. Ole Miss, led by Marshall Henderson, one of the biggest notorious faces in college basketball today. He had some drug issues early in his career, but he is an entertaining player to watch.
Yeah, he shoots about 11 3-pointers a game from what I saw through the stat line. It's going to be a shit show of 3-pointers.
Yeah, and Bill Weldon got him with the drugs. Is there a link there, you think?
Well, Bill Weldon likes to go his left a lot, so that could be a link that we don't know about, but we're going to find out shortly.
Okay, next up, the number 4 seed, Kansas State. Kansas State representing by Scott Donkey Hockemeyer. And what's this? We have actually Scott Hockemeyer right now. We just heard the selection.
Just found out some great news. I got Kansas State in the NCAA tournament pool. I'm pretty excited. I'm sure Coach Bruce Weber is going to lead this team somewhere this year. And I got a big star in Roddy Magruder on that team, so I can't see that going bad at all. Going to win me some money. I'm pretty pumped. Go K-State. Bada.
All right, Scott, that's a great choice and some great points you make there. Yeah. You'll be facing off against the winner of the Boise State-LaSalle game, represented by Chris Ulrich, what do you think about Donkey pumping up Bruce Weber, the former Illinois coach?
Very interesting video there. He was very excited, which tends to believe that he might be in the wrong here about them winning. But I like the enthusiasm, and anytime going against a Chris Ulrich, it's.
All right, next up, the number 6 seed, Arizona. Arizona, represented by Kevin KJK Caraco. He'll be facing off against the number 11 seed, Belmont. Belmont, represented by Mike Luciano. Arizona, Kevin Caraco, 7-5 in their last 12 games. Can't be happy going to the tournament with that record.
We got the staff there. It'll be Kevin's first pool while married, too, so I don't know if that's going to change any of his luck or not.
Also a new homeowner in Riverside, so he's got a lot riding on this pool.
Well, apparently.
Okay, the next, number 3 seed, New Mexico. New Mexico will be represented by Mr. Drug, Bill Weldon. He'll be facing off against the number 14 seed, Harvard. Harvard, represented by Ron Vojek. New Mexico played a great schedule, number 2 strength of schedule, number 2 RPI. Are those just going to be numbers when it comes down to it, though, facing off against a tough Harvard team?
That's a great question, Michael. I don't really know the answer to. I gotta be honest, I haven't seen either of those teams play this year.
Yep, Harvard, Ivy League champs, so we'll see if they can bring some of that to the table. The next, number 7 seed, Notre Dame, represented by Tom Swanson. Tom Swanson will be going up against the number 10 seed, Iowa State, represented by Paul Wilhelm. Notre Dame, puke-stained shorts, ugly.
Let's see if there's any fake girlfriends involved in this game also.
And our final matchup here in the West region, the number 2 seed, Ohio State, represented by Scott the Donkey Hockemeyer. He will be facing up against the number 15 seed, Iona. Iona, represented by none other than Matt Rose. Ohio State, you got to face off against the Big Ten tournament champions. Deshaun Thomas, phenomenal player. Your Iona squad going to be able to even compete here. I understand you're going to be getting a lot of points here.
I'm looking forward to getting some points in this game. Possibly a 15 to 16 point swing. I have no idea how good Iona is, but I'm sure the notes there say they're a wonderful team, which I'm looking forward to watching maybe a late game on Thursday for that one.
That's good. Well, that wraps up the region here. We're going to be coming back with the South region next. All right, we're halfway through. We're going to jump over into the South region now. First matchup, the number 1 seed, Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas Jayhawks represented by Anthony Ritaka. He'll be facing off against the number 16 seed, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky represented by Lou Scanicio. Kansas 2005 lost to a 14 seed. Bill Self, not a tournament coach is what they say.
Well, Bill Self also won the NCAA tournament a couple years back, so I'm not sure where you got that information.
Well, Kansas is known for their early exits in the tournament, so that was my information there.
Interesting developments there, but I am intrigued on the Lou Scanicio Anthony Ritaka face-to-face matchup. That's going to be a Ballydale of a matchup.
It'll be a Ballydale. All right, next, our next matchup, the number 8 seed, North Carolina Tar Heels. Tar Heels represented by John Gelsomino. He'll be facing off against the number 9 seed, Villanova, represented by Tom Swanson. And we got Tom Swanson on the horn right now. I think he's pumped up about this seed.
Fuck North Carolina. We're going to take them out in the first round. Then we're going to take our first seed to Kansas. Then we're going to play into the Sweet 16. Javon Pinkston, Jay Wright calling all the plays. Nova Nation. We're going to do this. Let's go, Villanova. Let's go.
Oh, Tom Swanson. We haven't seen that kid come out on an evening after 9 p.m. in, 3 years now?
Yeah, married with a couple of kids, so, you know.
Kirsten's got him on lockdown.
Yeah, he's on lockdown, so it is what it is. He's moving on in his life.
Well, I hope he's able to watch this game.
I hope so. I'm sure there will be questions in the household during NCAA tournament time. Our next matchup, the number 5 seed, VCU. VCU will be represented by Miro.
Oh, Miro.
Here we go. And Miro will be taking on the number 12 seed, the Akron Zips. The Zips will be represented by Zlatan. You know this Zlatan character? I know you know Miro. Miro.
I do know Miro. Zlatan, I do not know about his whereabouts. In the case of Miro, great bartender at the James Joyce.
Well, Zlatan can't be happy with the Akron pick. They lost their point guard, Alex Abreu, to drug trafficking charges.
Ooh, nasty.
Yeah. Nasty. I'm surprised actually Bill Weldon didn't acquire that team somehow.
That would have been a shocker.
Yeah. Our next matchup, the number 4 seed, Michigan Wolverines, represented by Matt Rose. Matt Rose will be going up against the number 13 seed, South Dakota State, represented by Kevin O'Rourke. Michigan looked bad in the Big Ten tournament, but you got a Kevin O'Rourke team. I think you're going to be okay here.
Yeah, South Dakota State has a couple guards that possibly wear jersey number 5 and 12 that are really talented on and off the court. It's going to be an interesting weekend for them.
That's good. Didn't know you were a South Dakota State fan. Next matchup, the number 6 seed, UCLA, represented by Ron Wojcik. Ron Wojcik with a matchup, number 11 seed, Minnesota, represented by Anthony Ritaka. UCLA freshman Shabazz Muhammad, probably a top 5 pick in the draft next year. Is he going to be able to carry this team in a tournament?
Is that a question?
Yeah, when I say, is he going to be able to carry this team in a tournament, that's a question for him.
Yeah, he'll be able to carry the basketball up and down the court.
Okay, our next matchup. The number 3 seed, Florida Gators, represented by Mr. James Joyce Miro.
Miro
will be going against the number 14 seed, Northwestern State, represented by Donkey. Donkey probably has no idea there wasn't even a Northwestern State school.
I didn't either.
Okay, our next matchup. The number 7 seed, San Diego State, represented by Tom Swanson. He will be facing off against the number 10 seed, Oklahoma, represented by Cibula. San Diego State, likely a one and done. Cibula, Oklahoma, probably going to move on. I know it's a spread pool, but I think Oklahoma's going to cover this one.
I'm going with Oklahoma in this one. I really have a feeling that they're going to bring their A game.
Okay, in our final matchup here in the South region, the number 2 seed, Georgetown, represented by the new homeowner, Kevin Caraco, facing off against the number 15 seed, Florida Gulf Coast. He will be represented by Pat Rose. Florida Gulf Coast, 15 seed, but they beat Miami earlier in the seed.
Are you serious?
Earlier in the season. Yes, I'm serious.
Oh.
And that wraps up the South region. Next, the final region, the East. All right, thanks for joining us again. We are going to wrap this up with our final region, the East region. We're going to start off with the number 1 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana, represented by Scott the Donkey Hockemeyer. He'll be facing off against the number 16 seed, which will be the winner of the LIU Brooklyn James Madison game. That winner will be represented by Jeff Dula. Indiana head coach Tom Crean got the number 1 seed. I think the guy's a piece of shit, though, actually, Crean.
Whoa, I did not know that. I apologize for him and for you thinking about that way. But good luck to Indiana. Do you have an issue? Is this personal or?
No, I think his personality and the way he treats other people, just not a big fan at all.
Some of the best coaches are assholes and whatnot, and they seem to succeed in the NCAA.
I'm not questioning his coaching. I'm questioning the way he acts.
Before we get going here, I just wanted to make sure, as Chris mentioned, we can. Chris will be updating the spreadsheet daily, but if you want minute-to-minute footage and stats, go to mobile, the Score mobile, on your iPhone device or your Android facilitator, and you can check out the scores and the spreads of each game.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Next matchup, the number 8 seed, NC State, represented by Pat Rose, facing off against the number 9 seed, Temple, represented by Ron Wojcik. North Carolina State, NBA lottery pick Rodney Purvis.
Yeah, he's got great wingspan. He's going to be exciting to watch in the pros. Great legs. It's going to be fun to watch him jump.
Next matchup, the number 5 seed, UNLV, represented by Scott Kopech. He will be facing off against the number 12 seed, California, represented by Michael Saps Swanson. This is a matchup I'm interested in. Scott Kopech sides as a referee for a North Riverside Basketball League. Next matchup, the number 4 seed, Syracuse, represented by Lou Scanicio. He'll be facing off against the number 13 seed, Montana.
Oh, wait. Before you get going here, it sounds like we have a little footage of Lou Scanicio celebrating the Syracuse.
Oh, let's cut to Lou Scanicio.
All right, Syracuse Orangeman, baby. I am very happy with this selection. You got a great coach in James Boeheim. He's going to lead these kids. You got a great player in CJ Fair. I mean, there's no way these guys aren't gonna win the championship. So take care of the East guys. Get to the big dance. Cuse, baby, 2013. Let's do it.
Okay, well that was an interesting footage by
Wow.
Lou. I don't know. He's pumped up about this team, but he doesn't even get the head coach's name correctly.
That wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Maybe we did it on purpose, I hope?
I don't know. Maybe he's just putting on a show, but we'll see how that goes.
He's been there for over 20 years, right?
Yeah. Very, very long history for Jim Boeheim.
Jim Boeheim.
Yeah. Okay, the next matchup, the number 6 seed, the Butler Bulldogs, represented by John Bonomo, facing off against the number 11 seed, Bucknell, represented by Michael Sapp Swanson. A lot of people have Bucknell pulling the upset here, so I'm pretty happy with the pick because they're going to be the underdog and people are picking them to win.
That's usually a great sign if your underdog is a favorite. The point spread will be low enough where you can compete on that one.
Yeah, Bucknell's hot, won 12 of its last 13 games. Let's go into the next seed here, the number 3 seed, Marquette, represented by Chris Ulrich. He'll be facing off against the number 14 seed, Davidson. Davidson will be represented by Jeff Dula. Most people think Marquette's overseeded here. All right, our next matchup, the number 7 seed, the Fighting Illini out of the University of Illinois. They will be represented by Tony Zeman. Zeman will be facing off against the number 10 seed, Colorado. Colorado represented by Mike Luciano. John Gross, his first year at Illinois, has a great tournament resume.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, it's great then.
Did you see what he did with Ohio last year in the tournament?
What did he do?
They really had a great tournament.
Oh, Elite 8?
I'm not really sure.
Sweet 16?
Sweet 16, possibly? My numbers guy, I should have written that down.
What time is this game going to be played? I heard we have a time that... Well, yep. 3:30 p.m. game Thursday.
Our final matchup. This is an intriguing matchup for a number of reasons.
Oh,
The number 2 seed, Miami. They will be represented by Paul Wilhelm, facing off against the number 15 seed, Pacific, represented by Tony Zeman. Story here has nothing to do with the game. It has to do with a bet made on Miami.
Yes, yesterday around 10 a.m., a Christopher Ulrich and a Brian Jones made a 50-1 odd $100 bet with Miami. Some tattoos were involved.
So if you really don't care about the tournament, you're rooting for Miami to win the whole thing because that's a $5,000 payout and a big party that will be thrown. All right, folks. Well, that wraps up the East bracket, and that wraps up our selection show, Matt.
It's been a pleasure, Michael. I really enjoyed this and look forward to doing it next year with you again.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for helping out here. I'd also like to thank Chris Ulrich, the commissioner of the league, and good luck to all the contestants, and have a great NCAA tournament. Pat Rose is a credits guy. He's not going to get a shout out.
I'm not gonna get a shout out.
You get a shout out in the credits, but not on camera.
I've been busting my ass all day, and that's about the other. I can't even get a shout out.
Yeah, you're going to get a shout out in the credits. People are going to wonder why your beard was full the entire time. Although it's not really getting cut close.